Ash,
Yes.
it happened again.
What happened again?
I stayed up till an ungodly hour watching TikTok. I need an intervention.
I think you do too. I think we all need to have a collective gathering where we all sit and explain to you how you need to sleep.
But also,
you need more sleep.
I'm not the only one in this house.
That's very true.
Before we point any fingers. And I think the problem is once you like go on it long enough and start liking videos, it figures out what kind of videos you like.
Yes.
So then now when I go on,
so now each video is
all
just
prime.
It's perfectly curated for you and your humor.
Yes, which is usually people getting hurt or just like stupid dances or like, I don't know, funny stuff. But
yeah, or people annoying the hell out of their parents.
So
funny.
Good. Me and Ash found a new favorite. I don't know what his name is. We'll post one of his on our Instagram.
Yeah, it's so good.
This guy, he like annoys his dad by just being super like emo, but like over the top emo.
Very over the top.
Emo.
That's an animal. Remember that was a thing?
Yeah.
Whoa. If you're our age, you get it.
If you're not, well.
Look up the emo. The memes that came from that. Oh God.
There were so many things. The other day I said something about being straight edge and someone was like, what's that? I was like, dude, it was a movement.
It was a lifestyle.
Do you remember all the people that wore the X's on the back of their hands?
Uh-huh.
And it was all the people who like didn't drink or like do drugs, but it was like,
it was a group
of
people. Yeah. It was who they were at their core.
Yeah.
It was their belief system.
Like people would introduce themselves as like, yeah, I'm straight edge.
Hey, I'm Taryn. I'm straight edge.
That's so gross.
Yeah, that was such a thing.
It sounds so gross.
It was such a thing.
You know,
good times. Not.
Emo's not.
Little.
Well, welcome back, everyone.
We've missed you.
Another episode
of Unsolicited Advice. That's Taryn over there.
I am. She's pointing to me, and I'm sitting on a bed.
I'm Ashley.
Oh my gosh, Charlie almost fell off the bed. Yeah, we're back at it again, and
back in the bedroom. If you have listened to us from the beginning, we usually record in a studio. When everything, shit hit the fan, we ended up in the closet, recording in the closet, thinking that like the closet would help with sound and make it sound a little more professional. But Taryn and I have since then upgraded.
We've abandoned all of that.
We were like, screw that. We're over it. We were tired of sitting on the floor. And we have taken our recording situation to my bedroom. Taryn's always on the bed. I'm always on the chair. And it's so much better than the closet. And yeah, that's a little update.
Yeah, it's perfect because we always record in the morning, which like our house, the way it's facing, my room is like
scalding
an
hot.
Actual desert in the morning.
Yeah.
And Ashley's is like the perfect shaded, like cool temperature. Cool. So it's great.
Yeah, it's actually been perfect.
I'll be right over.
Our rooms are, if I can paint a picture for you guys, our rooms are directly across the hall from each other.
Literally, my door opens to her door.
To my door. So she gets like the morning sun in the morning. And my old room before Taryn moved in was like on the other side of the house, the same house, the same side of the house that Taryn's in or on. And it does get super hot in the morning. Yeah. It's nice because you could like see the sunrise in the morning. It's beautiful.
Well, I'm not up really enough to watch that.
Well, you know what I used to do is I would sleep with my blinds open. And so the sun would wake me up and I would catch the sunrise. And I thought it was super pretty. And I mean, I would sometimes fall back asleep or, but it was gorgeous. Anyways, I digress. And so if her room's really hot, my room's cold. And then later in the day when my room's hot, her room is cold.
Yeah.
It's exact opposite.
It's crazy.
It's great.
So that's why we're in here and it's wonderful. It's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. All the dogs like come in, they know it's recording day and they just sleep.
When we record. Yeah. If you don't know, I have a little Shih Tzu and a Dachshund and Taryn has a Yorkie and all three of them love recording days because that means they can just come and like lounge on the bed. And all three of them are literally knocked out. We'll try to get a photo for you guys and post it. They're always knocked out on the bed with Taryn. It's so cute.
It's a vibe.
Big dog people.
What's coming? Where are we in the world today? Oh, 4th of July is coming.
Yeah.
Wait, when this posts, it'll be after?
It'll be after.
Okay.
4th of July is almost here.
Oh, yeah, because it's this weekend.
This is the sad year to be.
I literally 4th of July is one of I have like my favorite main holidays. And then there's like Valentine's Day and 4th of July have always been like my days. Like I love them. Because it's always like family barbecues, like game nights, fireworks, all that stuff. And I am so sad this year because I don't think there's going to be fireworks shows.
I think there might be, but there's not going to be.
But you can't
gatherings.
you can't like gather to watch. And then, like we're only seeing ourselves and then our immediate family and then maybe a friend if we know they're like quarantining too.
And I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but out here, the main thing people do is go to the beaches, and LA officially closed all the beaches for the 4th. So that's not an option.
I know. I'm like,
we'd have to like drive north or drive south to San Diego if we wanted to do some kind of beach thing. But, that's a big commitment.
I know.
It's a big deal.
But I mean, it's like you got to keep your mind on the main reason why we're singing.
Exactly.
And maybe we can like watch a fireworks show.
I have a great recording of the Disneyland fireworks show that we could just play on repeat.
You just find me in my room with like a laser pointer, like pew.
Oh my God. It's such a bummer. This whole season right now, celebrating the country just feels weird with everything that's going on, and then just not being able to like celebrate with a traditional family barbecue or pool day or beach day. Just, it's a real bummer. I feel like we all could have used that.
Oh my gosh,
morale
totally.
right now,
Yeah. Oh, I know what's new. Ash.
I know exactly.
Ash.
Taryn Renee is giving me such a look right now. Guys, a very big monumental thing happened for me this week. I went on my very first quarantine date.
Yeah, she did.
Your girl has not been on a date since COVID, obviously, for obvious reasons. I'll be the first to say it. I was very paranoid. I'm still very paranoid. But we got out there and had my mask, and we stayed outside and, stayed like 6 feet apart. I mean, as much as we could. And it was great. It felt really good to be social. It felt really good to just like meet someone and have a conversation. So, kind of proud of myself.
Also,
it's a big step for me.
It's really cool to have that pressure of like someone being overly touchy, or the goodbye hug where you're like, they're going to go in for a kiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not that like, even when you're feeling them, like sometimes like it takes people longer. Like I'm not the type I'm either the type who's like instantly like connected and would be fine with a kiss, or I'm like, I need a minute, Yeah. So it's kind of nice that it took that pressure off.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, I feel like you guys did it right. Whereas I'm sure other people are just being super careless and just meeting up and like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I think it's cool to do it, but if you're going to be smart like that, like be like, yeah, let's have masks on when we're like going to and fro. And when we're like finally somewhere we can take them off, like we're still being a little distant, because reality is I don't know you, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's good. Just some backstory. We met on a dating app. So there was no like mutual connection or friend of a friend thing.
Yeah.
So I do think that's important to say that. So this was a complete stranger.
Yeah.
And that does change things. So I think with that, on top of COVID, and just being respectful of not knowing how they feel with everything going on, it really does like zero pressure. It felt like I was meeting up with like a guy, like just a friend, and we just sat and talked, and it was great. And so I felt, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't have kissed him normally at the end, but I was like, no, that's not even an option right now.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it made it very easy for me to just feel very comfortable and myself, because I was like, oh, I don't even have to like think if that's going to happen, how would I feel? How would I react? Or, it wasn't even an option. So
yeah,
it was actually great because I don't remember the last time I went on a first date and was like, wait, do I want to kiss him or not? Like, trying to think about stuff like that. So
I love that I wish every guy who's asked me out on dating apps, it's like, hey, come over, let's hang, or like, let's go do this. And I'm like, no, like it's a pandemic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, usually I'm the one that ends up bowing out because they just like push hanging out. But it's like, I never will understand why guys think it's cool to just be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? Just come over. Let's watch a movie. It's like, I do not know you.
A booty call too.
Well, and even if it's not, it's like, even if you are not a serial killer or a rapist, that's great. Congratulations, you're doing well. You have to know that girls have this fear and this like need to be a little bit weary and protective,
and rightfully so.
Yeah, so like I kind of get annoyed by that because I'm like, why would you put me in that position? Like, if anything, you should be waiting and making sure I'm comfortable before you go to it. But a lot of guys are like, what is the big deal? Just come over and hang out. This is annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, hi, have you ever read any like article about kidnapping or like listen to any Crime Junkie episode?
Do you know who Ted Bundy is?
Yeah. So I just like, we're so weary. And especially me and Ash, like we always, every time we talk about like dating anyone, we're like, but the thing is you never know.
You never know. And guys, I mean, I didn't do this with this guy. I actually sent the picture and location to Alicia, but
of course.
Me and Taryn have this thing where it's like, if we go on a date, specifically if it's with someone from a dating app, we send them a picture of the person and the location that we're going to, just because we're that paranoid.
Yeah.
So,
and I straight up tell guys, I'm like, hey, just so you know, my friends are tracking me. I have to check in every hour. They know exactly where I am. And they're always like, they always like laugh, but then they're like, nah, I get it.
It's funny, but it sucks that we have to think that way, but we should think that way.
Yeah. Which
I
is
would
why
be
it's
disappointed
annoying.
If I didn't, or my friends didn't think that way. I'd be very upset.
So if you're a dude, make sure the girl is comfortable first. Don't put her in those positions. And if you're a girl, I don't care how cute he is. I don't care how charming he is. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be a little sassy and rude until you know.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
All I'm saying. Anywho, so that's our lives.
That's
Missing
an update
4th
for
of
you
July.
guys.
Ashley went on a date. That's the end of the episode.
As you guys know, we have a segment in our podcast called Tearing It Up where we dive into funny stories that you guys want to send in. Taryn Renee has experienced a lot of embarrassing and awkward moments in her life. So that's why it's called Tearing It Up. You guys enjoyed some of hers that she's shared before. So then ever since then, you guys have been sending them in with the title Tearing It Up. So if you have a funny, awkward, embarrassing story that you'd like to share with us, please send it to us and title it Tearing It Up so that we know what category to put it in. That's all. Okay. Today's Tearing It Up is titled The Hallway from Hell.
Oh, intrigue.
Hey, ladies.
Hi.
I mean, I'm not one to write things out. So the fact that I'm writing you guys is a testament of your guys' impact on me.
Wow, honored.
Love you guys so much. Okay, let's get into this awkward scenario. I was a senior in high school and was in tech theater class with my ex-boyfriend. Let's call him Gary, and his new girlfriend, Sarah.
Freaking Sarah. Sarah sucks.
Now, it was already awkward to be in the same class with both, all caps, of them, and I always made it my goal to get out of the classroom before them, which is something I would totally do. I remember being like, okay, the second, that's something I would do to justify.
Because the worst thing is when you have to exit and you're right behind them because they're holding hands. They're very aware you're there. You don't know where to look.
They're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable. The entire class can feel how uncomfortable it is.
Everyone's watching you. Yeah.
Anyway, she continues. One day after class, I had to go to the restroom. So when the bell rung, I scurried over to the closest restroom.
Oh, I was like, what's a closet restroom?
I'm still waking up, I guess. Now, usually I never see Gary and Sarah in the hallway at all. However, as I came out of the restroom, I found myself to be the only person in the hallway getting to class besides, Gary and Sarah. I was right behind them. I had 3 minutes to get to class, which was upstairs, and they were going, all caps, the same way. The point is, I was behind them in the hallway, and the hallway was empty besides the three of us. Anyways, I tried to maintain a healthy distance, 6 feet apart, between us because I really didn't want to seem like I was following them, but time was ticking and I had to get to class. We reached the end of the hallway and it just got worse. They started to full on kiss right there and then. And then Gary turned around and my stupid self decided the best way to avoid more awkwardness would be to look straight up at the ceiling. And that is when I walked right into the wall.
Oh my God.
At that point, I blocked anything else that happened and carried myself to the next class with all the rest of the dignity that I had left. Hopefully you guys get a chance to read this, but love you both anyways. Love, Natalia. I almost said Natalie, but it's Natalia.
Oh my gosh.
That
is a vibe.
That's mortifying.
Yeah.
That would be my worst fear.
Yeah.
Is to not only be there, the three of them, completely just engulfed in unbearable awkwardness.
Yeah.
But to top it off by walking into a wall.
Yeah. No, it's so bad. It's so bad.
So sad. I mean, I needed that laugh, so that was great. I'm sure everyone else did too. So thank you, Natalia, for sending that in. Hopefully that never happens again.
I will say I have an anti-tearing it up.
Ooh. Okay.
Anti-tearing it up. The one time in my life I was smooth as hell.
Please tell us. I don't even know if I know this.
I feel like I've told you this. There is this one guy who I was like in freaking love with, and he ended up just being like a jerk and was going back and forth between me and another girl. And he had just like pissed me off, was like talking to this other girl again. And we were I don't even remember where we were. We were somewhere and we were dancing. And I look across the dance floor and he's facing me and she like her back's to me and she's going off on him like they're fighting and he just looks like miserable, right? So then the song comes on, Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me?
Oh, as if it was queued up for you.
And I was like, this is my song. Literally. I freaking
her ponytail right now just whipped so hard.
My song. I literally walk out in the middle of the dance floor and the start, it's like I start and guys, I don't want to brag, but like I can get down.
Taryn can dance really well. Dance. If there's two things you should know about the two of us, I can't and she can't. Whenever I go out dancing, I always feel like so much better when Taryn's there because I'll just kind of like bop and do what she's doing.
She's like 2 seconds behind me, just like 5, 6, 7, do what Taryn does.
I'm trying my best.
So I literally, it was like a freaking straight up scene from like Step Up. I just like went for it.
Of course you did.
And I stared him dead in the eyes while the chorus was going. Gosh. And there was one point where like the girl like rolled her eyes and looked away and he literally looked at me and was like, Mouth, you need to stop. And I was like, nope, this is hair flip.
Cute hair flip.
Yeah. And then like guys were like coming up and trying to dance with me. And I was like,
naturally,
I need space.
That's like Euphoria
to put on my show. Yeah.
The last episode where she's just like staring at him and dancing. Yeah. Wow, Taryn.
It was great. It was great.
I would think so.
And then I left and was like, that was when you have those moments, you're like, that was a movie moment.
That was a movie moment.
That was a movie moment. Yeah. I felt so empowered.
5 stars.
I was like, And that's it. That's the end of my story.
Wonderful.
That's my anti-tearing it up.
Oh, man. Well, maybe that could become a segment too.
When you do something cool.
When you blow yourself out of the water. You're that good.
I love that.
You were so smooth.
God-given name that my parents chose has turned into a qualifier of if you're awkward. And then if you're not Taryn. It's great.
It's a great summary.
It's great. Okay. Should I go first?
No, we never do.
We never discussed.
Better at I feel like
I'll go first.
We'll discuss everything, but who's gonna go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go for it.
You just read that. Tearing it up. I'll give you a second.
Sure.
Well, right. This one is titled "The Sister of My Boyfriend."
Ooh.
Hi, Ashley and Taryn. First, I would like to say that I love your podcast. I've been listening to all of your episodes during work. I work at a tutoring center, but there are no kids, so it's mostly filing, and it makes the time go by super fast.
I am so glad that we are there for
Honored.
you.
We're just sitting there with you.
That's exactly what I do when I have like mundane work to do.
Yeah.
I just podcast it up and I get through it. It makes it go by so much faster.
Because you feel like people are there talking to you. Even if you're not interacting with them, you're like, oh yeah, I'm hanging with people.
And like 90% of the time I respond.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
yeah, seriously.
It's like I'm having the whole conversation with them.
Yeah, it's so great.
I love that we get to be that for you. That makes my heart happy.
Anyways, this has been an issue that has been in my mind for a while. I have a boyfriend of 2 years and he is my everything.
Cute.
You know, congratulations.
Can't relate, but cute.
Even though I'm only 18, I know that I am not going to date anyone else. He treats me like a queen, but I am a queen that will fight by his side, not a princess that needs to be saved. Do you remember that quote?
Yes. I just sat there and was like, wait, have we read this before?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know we said that quote.
That's how you know she's a fan. She's a fan. That
I
still is one
that.
of, by far, the best quotes we've read on the show.
And that was from one of you guys. Mm-hmm. That was a beautiful
So I'm going to say it again. I am a queen that will fight by his side, not a princess that needs to be saved. He is always there for me, no questions asked. But this isn't about him. It's about his sister. My first interaction with her was during a family trip to Disneyland, which was already a big leap for me. And when I first introduced myself, she brushed me off like I didn't matter.
Ooh.
I didn't think dude, honestly, like, I think that's something that's been a little bit lost in society is the importance of like the etiquette of meeting someone in a respectful way. Like I, from a very young age, and I feel like we've talked about this before, but my dad was like, you look someone straight in the eye. Like he would practice like the firmness of my handshake and you say like, hi, nice to meet you. And you say your name, like all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, like people are so just like, hey, you know what I mean?
I'm going to sound like such an old woman right now, but
Girl,
I agree. I think social media and online presence and stuff like that has kind of like, we've lost how to actually connect with human beings. Yeah. And I agree. I remember my dad being like, don't give like a super soft girly handshake, like give a firm handshake.
Yeah. Cause your first impression is so important.
Yeah.
And there are people that I've like literally my first interaction with them was weird. And I've been like, I'm not sure how I feel about them because they were so like dismissive of me or said like a joke that I was like, okay, that's kind of rude. You don't know me like at all, you know? So yeah, that would bother me too, especially when it's like the sister of someone you're dating, you like want to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting how much you have to win over the siblings.
Which
that's hard.
I will admit I was not very nice to some of the girls.
I mean, I don't know why, but I feel like most of, the parents or the siblings I always got along with them really well.
Yeah.
I'm a chill person, but yeah, I remember at one point, like when I first started dating, realizing that I was like, oh, it's going to be harder for me to win over the sibling than the parents. Because the sibling, there's a bond there that's like different.
I will say, however, I always am nice in the beginning, like when I meet them, but I do show a little bit of my intimidating side because I'm like, I want it to be clear that my loyalty lies with my brothers.
Yeah.
And if you hurt them, I will hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah. Well, you can relate. Lita's
guys, my sister's the worst. I love her to death, but every guy I've ever introduced her to, she is so rude.
Yeah.
Not in a like derogatory way, but she'll just be like, hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. And she won't help carry the conversation. She won't ask questions. She'll just stare at them.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my main ex, when she met him, she literally just looked him up and down.
I get to see it.
She was like, and like in her horrible teens,
Yeah.
and, just really emotional.
Yeah.
At that time. She would not do that today, but
Yeah.
she literally did that at one point. And I remember being mortified, and I like grabbed him and I was like, okay, we're leaving. Bye.
Yeah. Brett did that to a guy that I liked that he was not a fan of, because he knew he was like not a good guy. And he came over to my house one day, and Brett was walking. They were both walking in the living room, and the guy was like, hey man, what's up? Like, I'm so-and-so. And Brett literally stopped and just looked at him and then walked away. Like, didn't respond, didn't put his hand out. Like, it was so bad. And Brett was like way younger, but I remember the guy being like, that was like horrible.
Yeah. And same, like Alicia was a lot younger than him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my age, so a 3-year difference.
Yeah.
But she just stared at him.
Brutal.
Did
brutal.
nothing. And I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
And my dad's the same way. Like, he's pretty quiet. My mom's the one that really holds the conversation. So I was like, cool, you met my mom. Time to go.
Let's go. Let's just hang out at your house.
Yeah. Jeez.
Anywho, so brush me off like I didn't matter. I didn't think too much of it because we were at the happiest place on earth. I miss Disney.
I miss Disney. R.I.P.
Anyways, but during the day, there was some disagreement between my boyfriend and his mom. I didn't want to get involved, so I kept my distance. His sister was standing next to me, and I decided to say something to break the awkward tension between us. I said, I have no idea what's going on. I wish I knew what to do, which is such an innocent statement. She turns and said, what's going on is ... I completely forgot what she said because I was so shocked that she said those 4 words with such rudeness and anger. I had never met her before this day, so it really threw me off. That would throw me off too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shaken up for sure.
The second encounter I had was with her on her birthday. My boyfriend wanted me to decorate a cake that he baked. I wanted to give her another chance. When I got there, she greeted me with a smile and a hug. I thought this was a good start, but as I was decorating her cake, she comes over and takes a look. She asked what I'm trying to design. I would be like, get out. Get out. And I told her. Right after I told her, she said, let me see, and proceeded to grab the piping bag from my hand and finish the cake herself.
Oh my damn.
Her own birthday cake. Throughout the whole time I was there, she kept saying, it's my birthday, so I should be able to do this. It's my birthday, so I should choose what to watch. The sister is in her late 20s, by the way. I just felt hurt because I wanted to do something nice for her. Here's the thing. She thinks everything's fine between us. She doesn't think she does anything wrong. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I do not like her. It takes a lot for me to not like someone like I don't like her. I confronted my boyfriend about this, and he said that this is just how she is. He is super close to her, and she's had his back for his whole life. He's making it seem like he wants me to just push away my feelings and just be besties with his sister. I feel pressured to just forgive and forget, but that's not easy. Recently, she invited my boyfriend and I to lunch, and I don't know what to do. My boyfriend really wants me to try, but I don't want to get hurt again. I don't know how to move forward. I could really use some advice on this, please. Sorry if this letter was super long. Thank you so much for reading. Love, Jess.
It's not long at all.
No, it was great.
Yeah. Wow. So many thoughts.
Yeah. That's rough.
That's a rough situation to be in.
Yeah.
Because you love your guy and you want to be there for him, but she obviously sucks.
Yeah.
I do think it's crazy. She's in her late 20s.
Yeah.
She's grown.
Yeah. She
Adult.
should behave better.
She's a grown ass woman. She shouldn't be treating you so like pettily. Pretty sure that's not a word.
Pettily.
Well, I was thinking like petty and then pettily came out.
Pettily.
Yeah. That's very like immature of her for such an older age. So I think that in itself kind of tells you like where she's at.
It's true.
So that being said, I don't think it's okay for her to walk all over you.
No.
You are in a relationship with your boyfriend, not her. However, if you love him, then I do think it's important to try and, be civil with his family. That being said, what I would do is I would slowly start standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
I would go to lunch and I would look her dead in the eye And if she said something rude, I would just simply, and this is hard for me too, Taryn can attest, I would have a hard time with this. I hate confrontation, but I would slowly just start saying, that was rude.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything else. Just call it out, or maybe she doesn't even realize what she's doing.
Yeah.
Or maybe she does, but either way, you standing up for yourself would kind of start putting her in her place, and she'll either recognize that and be like, oh, I didn't even know. I'm so sorry. Or she'll see that you aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you're not going to put up with the nonsense that she's putting you through.
Well, sometimes even just saying, like, if you are afraid of confrontation and that feels like a lot, even just saying, like, if she says something in a mean way, just being like, hey, like, is everything okay? Like, you seem to be like, did I do something? Because you're acting as if like I did something. So I just wanted to check in, because sometimes, like, she might not be aware of it, like Ashley said. So that'll draw attention to it without being like calling
Having
it out.
to have a sit down conversation.
Yeah. But also, like, I'm all about standing up for yourself, but I am definitely like into the whole part of that's your boyfriend's job too. And I think you need to talk to him and be like, hey, obviously, like, I'm in this and she's your sister. I know she means a lot to you, but when she talks to me like that, it makes me not want to be around. So I would appreciate if you can stick up for me or talk to her and let her know, like, hey, because I've told my brothers before, I'm like, I know you don't like him, but you don't have a right to be like rude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And literally it's happened like twice, but I think you need to like have him stick up for you too. But unfortunately, and we've talked about this before, there comes a point where you have to just see a person for what they are and choose either to accept that or to cut them out of your life. So it sounds like she is a spoiled brat. And it sounds like even just the fact that like people are like, oh, that's just how she is. I hate that. Like, I think that's how people become
complacent.
Like, just, and bratty people is when people stop telling them like, hey, it's not okay to treat people like that. It's not okay to like throw a tantrum if you don't get what you want. And when people just go ahead and say like, oh, that's just how she is, and make excuses like that, it allows that behavior to continue.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, she's probably set in her ways. So I think there needs to come a point where you kind of develop a shell towards her. And if she is acting rude, then distance yourself. Like, if she is going to be a brat, then say to your boyfriend, like, hey, I really don't feel like going today. Like, create whatever boundaries you need to, but also understand like she might really just be that way. And you just need to like kind of change how you interact. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. Well said.
Thanks, Boo.
Did she say how long they've been dating?
She didn't say, but it sounds like it's been a little while.
A good significant amount of time. Yeah. Then I agree with Taryn. I think it's totally fine and reasonable, and you should feel completely safe asking him to step up and just be like, hey, clearly he likes you. Clearly you're not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. So I think it's totally fine, and actually his job to step in and say, hey, this isn't okay. Yeah, I like her, and I need you to, be okay with this.
Or I told my brothers one time, there was someone who came around our family a lot, and they would make comments, kind of make fun of me for being single and older. And it started to get to the point where I was like, okay, like, you're flat out just like, and me, Ash, like it takes so much for me to like get embarrassed.
And
me
and Taryn both joke about being single all the time.
And like in front of my family, I'm the most comfortable version of myself.
Yeah.
But the way this person was like saying things started to really affect me. And so I literally told my brothers one time, I was like, hey, you guys should stick up for me. Like, you guys are my protectors. You're people that like know me. And I'm just letting you know, like, when those things are said, like, it really affects me. So like, please feel free to say something.
Yeah.
And I remember Brett was like, dude, Brett and Ryan both actually were like, dude, I literally was just in that moment, I was wanting to be like, hey, bro, like that's a little harsh.
Back off.
Like there's no need to say that. They were like, but I didn't know if that would like
make
embarrass
it
you more or like whatever. So it was just us having a conversation where I was like, no, honestly, like I would love if you would stick up for me, and then being like, okay, awesome. You know?
Well, then maybe that's exactly what she needs to do.
Just have a conversation with him and be like, hey, I want to be there because you want me there. But also like, if we need to have a code word or freaking hand signal of when I'm like,
pineapple, I'm out.
I'm at my limit.
I need you to step in right now. Yeah. No, I love that. Just an open, honest conversation with how you're feeling. And maybe he knows that she's bothering you, but maybe he doesn't fully understand how bad it is.
Yeah.
So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And let's even give her the benefit of the doubt. And hope that you standing up for yourself and having that conversation with him will kind of like, help her realize what she's doing.
Yeah. You got this, girl.
Dang.
You will not be the first. You will not be the last that dates a person with a family member that is the worst. We've heard plenty of horror stories.
So many. Good God.
Good God. Hey guys, we just wanted to take a second to just say thank you for being a part of our little Unsolicited Advice family.
We love you guys so much, and it would mean so much to us if you would rate, review, subscribe, and share our podcast. Spread the word, spread the love.
Yes.
Give advice to everyone. Advice for you, advice for your mom, advice for your friends. Change the world. Help us get the word out there. And that would mean so much to us. And back to the show.
And we're back. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into my story. The title here is Best Friend to Acquaintance, How to Forgive and Let Go.
Ooh.
Best friend drama is the worst.
It is.
Am I right?
It is.
Okay, here we go. Hi, Taryn and Ashley.
Hi.
I'm going to go by the name Elle because I want to stay anonymous. I am 19 years old and I'm from San Diego, California. Love San Diego.
I love San Diego.
I miss San Diego.
There was a guy who I was like on and off talking to.
I remember I literally called him San Diego guy.
So, I would call him San Diego to Ash. Okay. Ash, like, she cares about my life. She really does. She's just not the best at like remembering like exactly who I'm talking about.
I remember San Diego.
So I have to like give clarifiers like that.
Yes.
Like I'll be like, oh, San Diego. Oh, Wales.
And they all have to be different. They can't Wales. They can't be similar in any way. Otherwise I will mix them up. It's really bad.
But it was one of those like, I still to this day don't know if we like actually liked each other or if it was just all in my head. But I went out to hang out with him one time and saw his area. And I always have said like, oh yeah, no, I want to live here because I want to be close to my fam. And it's not that that's far away, but it still is like a few hours commitment to drive.
It is. Well, you see your family a lot.
I see my family a ton. But
I could easily live a few hours away.
Yeah, you could.
Thrive.
You could. But yeah, I drove out there and I was like, dude, I moved for you.
Yeah.
Obviously nothing happened, but you know.
I mean, we'll
Thriving.
see. It's not over.
Thriving.
She continues, I absolutely love your podcast, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I've recently lost a best friend in my life, and it's been really hard for me. We met in middle school, became best friends in high school, and have stayed best friends through our time in college up until now. We've been on vacation with each other's families, have given each other birthday and Christmas gifts, and share so many memories together.
Oh.
This year, when we were both home for our winter break, I could tell things felt different. We didn't click as easily. Our conversations felt a little more forced, and I didn't feel my best when I was with her. I always hang out with her when I'm home and still consider her to be my best friend. So we just kept hanging out and it was fine. Around February, we got into a small argument about something she did that hurt me a lot. We figured out and remained friends, but it was always really distant and felt very different than our friendship had ever been before. A few months later, we got into another argument over text, and it was definitely the biggest argument I'd ever been in. I said some things that weren't very nice and that I regret, and she did the same. I really wanted to talk about things in person after, but she didn't want to. She expressed how she didn't feel close to me anymore and didn't feel like trying for our friendship anymore.
Ouch.
Yeah. After a week or so, I brought cookies to her house to apologize. We talked for a little and we decided to stay friends, but not best friends anymore. And I was happy that we were on good terms. Ever since then, I noticed I was blocked on a few of her social media accounts, and I'm always the one to reach out and text her first. She hurt me a lot, and I don't understand how she's able to just throw away years of friendship, and I can't even really figure out what I did to her to begin with. She was a rock in my life for so long, I just can't seem to let it go. If I had it my way, we would still be friends, even though I know it's not what's good for me now. I just keep thinking of years and years of memories. I also can't forgive myself for getting into an argument with her and saying mean things because I am very non-confrontational and I've never done anything like this before. Any advice on forgiving myself and letting go would be great. Thank you. That's tough.
Oh, that statement, like, I just don't want to put effort
Like this
into
isn't
this.
worth fighting for anymore.
Oof.
That's a really low blow.
Ouch.
There is something so much more difficult with a friendship separation, a splitting of friends than there is in a like relationship. People break up, guys come and go, girls come and go, but like a best friend, that's devastating.
It's like a more like raw, I don't know how to describe, like, I feel like breakups are like intense, right? Like you feel all these emotions. It's like heated. You're crying hysterically. It's like very like elevated levels of emotion. Yeah. But the best friend ones are the ones that like are deep. Like they're deep in your core and it's more of just like a cloud. Like you're just sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Poor baby.
Ouch.
I've gone through a friend breakup. Taryn's gone through a friend breakup.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's been years for me, but I still find myself wondering,
dude, all the time,
how she's doing, where we'd be now if we were still friends. And what's crazy is like my specific situation is it wasn't that dramatic. There was no conversation. It was more of like a just drifting apart, which is, you know, pros and cons to that. Like there were no like real hurtful words said, but it also just kind of left me feeling like unresolved and like we never dealt with it. So one way to look at that is at least it's easier to be like, okay, I don't need her in my life we're not good for each other right now. However, I do think how she worded that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's because, and I feel like my friend breakup was like, I mean, it literally ended with me throwing out like, okay, well, how about we just never talk again? And him going, it's fine with me. And like taking a drink of his beer and walking away. Like, and so I felt that whole like dismissive, just like, wow, like after all these years, like there's no need to like even fight for this friendship. Like I'm just dismissed like that, which I feel like she probably feels like that too, especially taking the time to like block someone and just ignore their advances and things like that after saying like, yeah, let's just be friends. But then doing that's like such a hard place to be, because you're like, well, you said you want to be friends and like, I'm trying. Yeah. So it's kind of, I mean, she's basically in a cowardly way saying she's done without saying she's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for being friends for however long you guys have been friends, it's a substantial amount of time.
Yeah.
You would expect more than that.
Yeah. And I think at some point it's not fair for you to keep fighting for something if you're just getting hurt time after time. So I think my advice would be, and obviously like I don't know all of the details. I don't know your history as well and things like that, but I think there comes a point where it's okay to do a one last reach out and just to say like, hey, all of the things like you feel like you still need to say to her, be like, hey, I obviously like we've been through a lot. I still feel so horrible for the things I said and what happened between us. You know how much I love you, and it's been really hard for me to see, you know, me being blocked. Like I keep reaching out and you're not reciprocating. So obviously there's still some anger you have towards me. Again, I just want to say how much I love you and I really want this friendship, but I also don't want to keep pushing you if you're not ready. So whenever you are ready to talk or whenever you want to try to make this work, let me know and I'm here. Like literally I'm here patiently waiting. And then I would just like for your own sake, like try to like heal and move on. You know, reach out for birthdays, things like that to if you still feel like you just want to see where it's at. But I think there comes a point where taking the abuse of like getting hurt over and over and over when you're the only one reaching out is damaging. Yeah. So I would just be careful of that.
Yeah. What I would do, and something that I wish I had done in my friendship breakup, would be if you're still thinking about it and you're still wanting to talk, and it's you're still really feeling like this pressure or desire like in your heart to do something, then I would make like one final attempt. Yeah.
Even if it's just for yourself to be like, okay, I literally have tried everything and said everything, you know?
And I do counseling now because I'm healthy.
Yeah, she does.
And one of the biggest things that my counselor keeps saying is like, if you don't know exactly what you want to say or you're scared, write it out. It's so much easier. It's so much better. You get your thoughts out so clear. Something that I struggle with is if I feel emotional about something, my brain goes blank. Yeah. Every single time. Whether it's family stuff, friend stuff, or relationship stuff. Like if I want to say something and I get the guts to finally say something, I'll say one thing. But in reality, I have 5 things I want to say and I lost it all. And I'll get so excited that I got to talk about the one, but then I dismissed everything else. Yeah. So maybe write her a letter or send her an email or send her a text explaining how you feel, how you still love her, how her words have stung you and you're still thinking about them, and how like the blocking thing really came out of nowhere and is immature. And you thought you guys were better than that.
I honestly think I've only blocked, I don't even know if I've blocked anyone. I think I blocked like someone that was like commenting like really just inappropriate stuff on all my pictures. Yeah. And that was the first time I like blocked someone, but it would take a lot for me to like block a person.
I've only blocked one person in my life. It was a guy who just was not letting things go. Yeah. And starting to annoy the hell out of me. So I feel like blocking, maybe because I think it's a big deal. Yeah. I feel like blocking deserves a lot. You know, you must have done a lot to get blocked, because I can easily scroll through.
Yeah. And be like, scroll past or whatever. Or hide it or But like, to me, blocking is like, I am fully cut. Like I want nothing to do with you. Yeah. So that's where it's a confusing double message of like, yeah, let's still be friends, but I'm going to block you. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah. And I've had other friends who have also had friendship breakups, who found out that they were blocked as well. And, if there was any chance of there being some kind of restorative thing in their friendship, that really did like
put it over the edge.
It ended everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people can talk a lot of talk and say that they want to remain friends or work through something, but it's their actions that really tell you how they feel. And if blocking was one of their first initial responses, that's a good clue as to where they're at emotionally. Yeah. And also, just on the complete opposite side, if that's where she's at in life right now, you probably don't want her in your life for a while. You know, she clearly has stuff to deal with. Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is like, it just feels like I don't even block my ex. We don't follow each other, but like, I don't block him. And if he ever DM'd me, I'd be like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like there's that. I've never felt that harshness of like, I do not want to see anything of yours and I don't want you to see anything of mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that has to go with the whole cancel culture that we live in right now. Yeah. It's such an intense thing. And that's so funny because I just posted about this because I read an article about cancel culture and where it's brought us to in this moment. And how even like, I'm not going to get too political, but how even in this year of this election year and so many things that we should be talking about, we've gotten ourselves to a place where if we disagree with someone or we have one argument, you're shut down, you're canceled, you're not given a chance to learn, to grow, to hear someone out. And this goes obviously with politics, but it goes with relationships as well.
Yeah.
Because the best part about relationships is going through all the hard stuff, learning through it, and coming out on the end like victoriously.
Well, the whole thing is like, you want people to be better people.
Yeah.
But instead of like, I think you should highlight their past mistakes and there should be accountability put there. But if people are genuinely wanting to change, instead, like, our world's not going to change if we're just going and like crucifying everyone who's ever done anything wrong.
Exactly.
Like, we've got to like bring light to it. We can't ignore it anymore because like we're done with that. But then it's like, okay, well, how do we now educate someone to change and to make better decisions in the future? So, and especially in relationships like that, it's like, if you're just like done with me, there should be like, you should have the courage then to sit me down and say like, hey, I honestly, like, I'm just done with this friendship. Like, for me, that would be easier to move on from than just going on and finding that I've been blocked on social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Taryn brought this up to me once because I do suck at confrontation and she's great at it. She thrives in it.
Thanks.
She jokingly said once that she's like preparing me for my future marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. I think there's a huge like truth to that, where it's like your relationships, your friendships, all of these things, you're going to learn and you're going to grow. We're humans. We're all going to make mistakes. And so it's a matter of like having people in your life that will call you out on your bullshit and just be like, hey, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
As a friend, I have to tell you that this is not okay. And I shouldn't take it personally.
And it's not an end
say
all
it in a rude way.
Yeah.
And it should be, the whole goal should be to help me to rise up to a better place, to be a better person. So that the older I get, the more mature I can handle each and every relationship that comes my way.
Yeah.
So that being said, her canceling you out after an argument is very unhealthy. And I think that just goes to show how the rest of her relationships in the future are probably going to be. She's going to come to a sticky situation or have an argument and it's going to be like out, cut, done. Whereas for you, hopefully, if you can get this off your chest, write her a letter or talk to her one last time. I hope, and I would like encourage you to do that, but I hope that would kind of lay to rest all the bad that happened. And I it's hard, but eventually, like where I'm at right now with my friendship losses, we have some great memories together. I cannot imagine my childhood without her. Yeah. I can't imagine going through middle school and high school without her. I think she was in my life for a reason, and I know I was in hers for a reason. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But people grow and people change, and friends come and go, unfortunately. Yeah. But you know, she helped you get to the place that you're at today. And I think in the end, the best overall situation would be for you to be grateful and thankful for the times that you had.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Dang.
I'm sorry, babe. That sucks.
Yeah. Make sure you are protecting yourself, getting closure on your own versus when you have someone who's willing to sit and get closure with you is way harder, but it still is something that's worth doing. So even if you're like, okay, well, I'm going to write this thing and she's not going to respond, then see it as something like you need to do for yourself. But you got this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. That sucks so bad.
Thank you guys for freaking writing in. We always are so blown away by just how you guys write in literally every week and are so vulnerable and honest with us. And we appreciate you trusting us.
Your guys' openness is absolutely inspiring to me because I'm in general not an open person. It takes a little bit for me to feel comfortable with someone to open up. So I'm so grateful to you guys for doing that. I know me and Taryn look forward to this podcast so much. This has become the center of our lives.
Yep.
I have read countless DMs and emails where multiple people come in and say how much they related so much to this episode, which means that each and every one of your guys' stories that you're sharing is not only touching me and Taryn, but it's affecting other people's lives as well. So if you have made it to the end, this is the time where I tell you, if you have a story that you would like to share, please send it in because we all want to hear it. We're all learning together. And we're just, me and Taryn feel so grateful to have a platform where we're able to provide that for you guys.
Yeah. Freaking love you all.
Shall we end it with a dad joke?
Yes, ma'am.
Taryn loves dad jokes. And if you guys have any, send them her way.
If you guys don't know, this actually was from Jess from my story.
Oh,
She
that's
left a PS
convenient.
dad joke. I know. Okay. What is Gaston the winner of?
Gaston from Beauty and the Beast?
Yep.
Hunting?
Hunting.
Gaslighting? I don't know.
I love how, what if that was the joke? What is Gaston the winner of?
Gaston
Hunting.
is the winner of
Hunting. The worst joke ever. Okay, ready?
I use antlers in all of
My
my decorating.
Oh, are you ready?
I have no idea. Please go.
The Nobel Prize.
Oh my God.
That's good.
That's the best one yet.
Really?
That's the best one yet.
Oh my God.
I think that's my favorite. The Nobel Prize.
Congrats.
That's so good. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. We love you to pieces.
Real. Should we give another hidden thing? Because, dude, our socials blew up with pineapples.
Yeah. Should we continue with the food or should we change it up a little bit?
Let's do something else. Let's do a
Does it need to be an
rando.
emoji?
Yeah.
What if we do the science beaker?
Oh, good. Yep. Because
There is a science beaker.
smart.
Also, good luck finding it.
Yeah, I was
Because
like,
I remember
well,
looking for it once and it took me forever.
That's the worst when you're like scrolling through. Okay, we're just talking.
Yeah,
now to
we're
talk.
just rambling. Love you guys. Thanks for
Love
talking.
you.
Bye.